Hello and welcome back to my channel. I thought it was time for a bit of a sit down again. I've done a few different things lately, so I thought we could have a bit of a chat about that and a bit of chat about how my menopause has been treating me a little bit. I've had a couple of new things pop up for me lately, so we can see what we think about that. But yeah, I've been to a couple of shows this year, one with John and one without John, and I've enjoyed it more than I thought I would. We kind of took ourselves away from the shows for a little bit because it just all got a bit much, and I think the more time you spend away from people, the harder it is to be around them. Sometimes a time out can be required just to go and catch your breath a little bit, because it can, even just talking to your mates and stuff, I think sometimes you just need to go and sit down and give yourself 5 minutes. Don't ever feel bad about having to give yourself 5 minutes of a time out, no matter what you do. You got to look after you. But with the shows, one thing I always love is saying hi to people. And I did notice over these shows, and I think it's probably because I've not been to any for a while, that there are so many different kinds of hello. There are the different kinds for different people for whatever reason. I know it's normally what I am doing at the time that dictates what they feel comfortable doing. Always get a bunch of messages afterwards saying, I saw you at the show and I was too nervous to come and say hi. Or I saw you at the show and you were busy, so I didn't want to interrupt you or anything like that. But I noticed that there was a few different kinds of hellos. So the first one, I actually really like this one, because you can be doing anything. Everybody else is busy. I think some people have said, I was too busy to come and say hello, but I would have loved to have bumped into you. And with those kind of things, there's so many people walking past me, just touch me on the arm on the way past and go, hi Mandy, I just wanted to say hi, I love watching your videos, and then wave and off they pop. And I'm like, okay, a little bit taller, feel really good. Such and such a lovely, meaningful, tiny little interaction with anybody, for stuff. I've had people turn around to me and say, hi Mandy, I don't like watching your videos, but I just wanted to say hi. And I'm just like, oh, well, thank you for your honesty. Okay, bye. And then off they pop. They don't have to like me. People just have to be kind. That's all. That's the only thing that I don't have tolerance for. A guy wants to tell me that he doesn't like my videos. That's lovely, but he said it with a smile and he shook my hand and he was nice. I am fine with anybody having a different opinion, even if it includes not liking me or my videos. I bumped into a chap who came up, and as soon as he saw me, he said, my wife is gonna kill me, because she knew if she didn't come out that I'd bump into somebody she wanted to say hi to, and I was that person. So he put me on the phone to her and I had a little chat with her, which was lovely, and then he went on his way. I was sat in a chair. My back was killing me because I was walking around, so I thought I'll go and check out some chairs at the leisure shop. So I sat down. I had someone come up to me and say, you're right, Mandy. And I'm like, oh, I've been stood up for ages. Oh, he said, oh yeah, I bet your legs are killing you. You're all right, I like your videos. And I'm like, well, thank you very much. And all of this stuff, some walking around, it's been lovely. I've been getting messages from people saying you were eating, so I didn't want to come and say hi. And as much as I'd love to turn around and say, yeah, don't worry about it, come over, you never know how hungry I was before then. So sometimes, if you want a decent interaction with me, it's probably best off to make sure that I'm not hungry at this point. I'd like to be my best self. So if I'm eating, normally I've raced over there and had to get something. And if it's banana leaf, that is the best food in the whole world, so that needs savouring as you're eating. I was recording to camera at one point, and people just waved at me in the background, so that's the bit I featured in the video where I'm like, right, I've got to go say hi. And I love it. I love it. I can't help but have massive dose of imposter syndrome every time, but then I have the same thing, I go around and I see people that I've been seeing on social media. I remember at one of the Stratford shows, and I know she'll be watching right now, one of the first Stratford shows we went to was just walking through the beer tent, into the beer tent, and talking to Jet and Dave from Martha and the Van Dwellers, who I've known for a very long time. And this lovely blonde-haired lady comes up to me and just says, hi Mandy, I want to say hi, I've been watching your videos for ages, my name's Heidi. And straight away I was like, Heidi Priest? And she goes, yes, And oh, we've been chatting in the comments on the John and Mandy channel and everything for years, and I was blown away that I actually got a chance to meet her. So we had a big old hug and whatever, and had a chat. We've seen her since then. She won some tickets for the NEC when we did a giveaway, and yeah, there's always got time in the chats and stuff, and I love that. You know, for me, she was the name that I needed to meet. She was the person. You know, it was good to flip it around. You know, we have a lot of people turn around and say, I bet it's weird that we know more about you and you know nothing about us. But of course, we've all been there. We have all been there. And I found it really weird because it is very niche, I think, with the camper van thing and the van life vlogging and whatnot. But I remember years ago, when we had the motorbikes, we'd gone to the bike show at the GMEX, as it was then, in Manchester, and they used to put on a cracking bike show there, and they always had loads of features as well as the bikes and stuff. And this was the one time when John figured out that at that point Television X had girls going around advertising the bits at the back, literally wearing hardly anything, holding up boards as they're walking round. I've never seen his chin at the floor so quick in my life. It was hilarious. And we'd gone there to meet Nick Sanders, who rode his bike around the world in the fastest time. Nick Sanders, who saves newts at the side of the road when he's in Australia by taking them out of cans and does 15-minute power naps on his bike when he's knackered. You know, is a legend. He is an absolute legend, and we couldn't wait to go meet him. So we were literally trying to do like the sneaky bits of, you know, getting him in the background in the photography, trying to do that. And then he notices, and he's just like, "You taking photographs of me?" And I'm like, "I'm really sorry, Nick, I didn't want to disturb you. You look like you're busy, but I'd just love to get your picture. I've watched all your videos and stuff." And he goes, "Well, come around here for a photo then." So I'm like, ah. So I go around, he's got his bike there. So we get to put, I'm like, "Can I put my hand on your bike?" So I put my hand on his bike, take a photo. Absolutely brilliant, lovely guy. Had a good old chat and everything. Bought his latest book and he signed it and stuff. And I was blown away. I posted that on Facebook. Nobody knew him. Nobody had the slightest idea who this guy was. They were like, "Mandy, who's this guy you got your arm round, and why are you smiling so much?" And yeah, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, we've all been there. He didn't look comfortable either, because he's just one guy on a motorbike usually, isn't he? And now he's got to promote it all. So yeah, it's a weird thing. There's another menopause thing that's reared its ugly head. I seem to be getting, at times of the month, really picky about semantics. And it's always been a thing with me anyway. I think there's many different ways of saying something. And there's definitely a right way and a wrong way. But I've always had this thing where I believe the best in people. So if someone says something to me a particular way, I won't take it that way. You know, my mum always used to say, listen to what they say rather than the way they say it. And that might have been having to deal with angry people when I was a kid. I was like the run to the litter, for goodness sake. So yeah, it was always listen to what they say rather than the way they say it. So that was always something that stuck in my head. And for some reason, that's worn off. I mean, sorry, Mum. But it's really hard. So, for example, at the show, I had someone turn around and say to me, "You've got the same wheels as I've got." And I'm like, look at the van. I'm like, oh, they've got the same wheel. I had it on great authority that I had the first set of these wheels that had come into the country, that nobody else had had them. And again, you've got the same wheels as us, Mandy. And I'm just like, well, no, because technically you've got the same wheels as I've got, because I got them first. And I'm like, Mandy, what on earth are you saying? Normally I'd just smile and nod, you know, and I'm just like, what? Why are you making a deal of it? What's the deal? And then they turned around and said, yeah, but when did you get your wheels? So I'm like, well, we got them in April. Oh, right, yeah, well, we got ours in June. And I'm like, oh, so I did get them first then. And I'm like, what? Shut up, Mandy. What you saying? But if they'd have walked up to me and said, oh, look, we've got the same wheels, I'd have gone, oh, brilliant, good choice, cracking wheels them, aren't they? What's the difference? What's the difference? Apart from one made me angry and one didn't. And I'm finding that so much lately. And it is the weirdest thing, because it's always just been, I know what people mean. I'm not stupid. I know that 99% of people will come up to me and talk, and they're not having a go. You know, it's like, think the best of everybody in the first instance. So I don't know why. I don't know why that was the first thing that came up, but I am finding it so thingy. Well, you need to choose what's going on, Mandy, instead of what do you want to do. It's like, I don't want to choose what's going on. Why don't you just ask my opinion on what I'd like to do instead? And I have got to bite my tongue all the time, or unfortunately at some times of the month there's no tongue biting going on. I'd have no tongue left. So I don't know why that's a big deal. Semantics all of a sudden has become a thing. So I've got to work on that one. I really do. Because I don't want to seem to be unreasonable. I don't feel like I'm an unreasonable person. I think sometimes I feel unreasonable. I mean, the other day, I don't know what it was. I just got in my van, and John and I were going. We parked up where we were going, and I just parked up. We'd been chatting a little bit on the radio. John said something. There'd been something that had gone on earlier in the day, and I was a little bit disappointed about that, but unreasonably disappointed. And it was kind of like building up through the day. So by the time we parked up, I just literally turned the engine off, came and got in the bed, and I'm out the way, not even saying a word to John. And bless him, he texts me and he's like, I'm just making some tea, there's enough for two, do you fancy some? So I just said no thank you, like that, and left it. And then it was like an hour and a bit later, and I got a text off him saying, are you alright? And I'm like, well, I've got a choice now. I can either just turn around and say, yeah, I'm fine, or whatever. And I'm thinking, it's not fair on John. So this was the thing, it clicked in my head that it was something I needed to deal with properly. So I just texted him back and went, I am cranky, I am unreasonable, I don't know what is wrong with me. I feel like everything is going, I want Chinese food and I can't have it. Literally all of this stuff. And he goes, well, have you eaten anything yet? And I'm like, no, not really, I've not eaten anything. So grab some food, come over here and we'll watch a film or something. So I did. I just grabbed anything that would dip in hummus and a pot of hummus and went over to his van, and I felt much better. But it took John messaging me to make me realise that I was being cranky because I was hungry. So it just goes to show that things still go right over my head, and I can't quite grasp them. So it's the tablets are working, but they're not 100%. I still need to put in a lot of work. And I don't know, I think I wish that there was some magic something for weight as well. I need to get some new clothes for this new job that I've got starting, because I do need to go in for training, so I need to not look like a hoodie, sweater, tracksuit bottom wearing person who lives in a van. So I thought I'd just get myself some comfier but smarter clothes. I pop into Matalan. It's the first time I've seen myself in a full length mirror since we got rid of the motorhome. Yeah, I was nearly in tears. I've not seen, I was trying clothes on, so I was just stood there in my underwear, and yeah, I have not seen myself like that for a while, and it was a bit of a shock, because it was like, that's not me. Me, I'm the person that worked out twice a day. I was so dedicated to working out and, feeling good about it, that seeing my body in the mirror there was an absolute shocker. The weird thing is, when I was I say skinny, I wasn't skinny, I was muscly. When I did work out a lot, I didn't like my body then either. I think sometimes I found my face was too gaunt. I didn't like too much definition. Listen to me, too much definition in my arms. I didn't want to be burly in any way. I'd always have a problem with that as well. So as I'm stood there, taking up all of this space in a Matalan changing room, going through it all, I have decided I'm going to try and figure out how I just like my body and myself, how I am. And that's a massive thing for me. I've always been on to trying to do something, get, you know, lose weight, fast diets and all of this stuff. I'm going to try and eat a bit better. I've not been eating very well. And I have cut down on booze, and now there's no shows and things. I am just terrible if other people are drinking around me. I've got to do something for me. I think if I feel better about me, then I'll feel better about how I look, and that I'm not being stupid and daft and stuff. If anyone has got any advice, anything that I can do that will make me a lot better with how I am, I'm trying to improve my fitness levels, because I think that's more important than losing weight, is to just be fitter and more able and maybe a bit more flexible and things, because I am sitting down an awful lot. I think I'd like to just work on flexibility and stuff. But yeah, this is all new for me, and especially post-menopausal. You know, at one point I'd just start fasting, I'd have a few weeks of fasting, and I could see the difference and see the weight coming down, and that is not working. There is nothing like that that's helping me at the minute. So how do I do that? How do I get used to looking like this and being happy with it? I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna put that work in. I tell my daughter all the time, you know, I see other people and I'm just like, oh, you can't be picking holes in stuff. Just love yourself as you are, and that will be the fire in your belly that you need to get anything else done if you're gonna do it. And crap at following my own advice for stuff, I tell you. Oh, I've got some new clothes, got some lovely new clothes. I will show you once I'm wearing them, once I've got them on. I bought myself a jacket because I figured I can get some nice trousers, some jumpers, t-shirts, chuck a jacket over the top, and that will make me smart enough for getting into an office, I think. Yeah, so I'll do that. My shopping, new job starts in a couple of weeks, and yeah, and try to stop myself from being so particular about semantics. And hopefully next year, if we do get to some shows again, I can get my fix of hellos and stories and things from people, because just like reading all the comments and things, it's the biggest part of why I do this. It really is. So again, and I know I like to say this every time, and I do mean it, thank you all so very much for watching, and for coming to say hi, and for commenting in the comments here, or for commenting and sending me messages on Instagram if you want to do it that way. I do get some wonderful interactions, and I appreciate you all so very, very much. So thank you for all of your help and support. Long may it continue. So lots of love to everybody, big hugs, kisses to you all, take loads of care, and I'll catch you on my next video. Bye.